So tonight we're going to talk about a lady who has been for the last year having trouble. There have been delays, and every time she gets set up in a marriage, something happens and blocks it. And so we just want to look at her chart and see the timing of marriage is very important to lots of people. So we're just going to look at some key points, and what we want to look at in terms of marriage is the planets and houses that signify a marriage. And in Taurus, each sign will show different significators. So in a Taurus chart, we look which houses contain multi-corona signs that relate to marriage. So the 7th house, we would start with that. That's not a multi-corona sign. That's the Scorpio rising. Then we can look in the 2nd house. No, that's Gemini. That's not a multi-corona sign. Then we'll look in the 4th house. Family, that has to do with marriage. That is a multi-corona sign. So Sun becomes the prime significator for marriage in this chart. And other significators are Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars. Now, Jupiter is a functional malefic in this chart, so that represents husband, and it's not so helpful. And then Venus, which is often to do with relationships, is in the 6th house. That's, disputes and delays, not so helpful. And Mars is in the house of endings, so that's not helpful. So Sun becomes the main kind of thing. And Mercury's weak because it's 1 degree. Venus is weak, and Sun is weak because they are placed in the 6th house. So they become both weak, being in this Dustan Bhava, one of the Dustan houses, 6th, 8th, or 12th. So we can see, because Sun is the prime significator and it rules this house of marriage, family, being in the house of delays, then we know that delays to marriage are an inherent part of the birth chart. Now, how can we overcome that? Well, we want to strengthen Sun with a Kavash. That would be good. And we can strengthen Venus with a Kavash. We can strengthen Mercury with the Kavash, and we can transform. Moon and Saturn are fairly strong, so they are in good shape. Moon and Saturn. Mars can be transformed by listening to Hanuman chants on Tuesdays and helping men that are like brothers. Jupiter, husband, can be transformed by listening to Ganesh chants on Thursdays and helping spiritual organizations. And the other functional malefics are Rahu and Ketu. Ketu, helping spiritual organizations and listening to Ganesh chants on Thursdays. Rahu, listening to Shiva chants on Saturdays and helping those who cannot help themselves. And helping spiritual organizations, for K2. So those are the remedies. If she had been doing that since an early age, wearing the Kavash and doing those remedies, then these, what it takes as a very strong influence, because Sun is very close to the most effective point. It's within 1 degree, so very strong impact. The most effective point of every house is 8 degrees in 53 minutes, and so very strong impact. If she had been, wearing the Kavash at an early age, would help Sun and Venus and reduce maybe from 80% to maybe 20 or 30% this impact of delays in the marriage. And then you have the 7th house, Libra. Venus is in its own sign, which is somewhat helpful. But anyway, it's still weak because it's in that Dustan house. So then if we look at the transit chart, what's been happening, apparently in the last 6 months, she's had a lot of trouble. So if you just look back for the last 6 months, so maybe like January, see what's happening. Saturn has been in this 8th house. Saturn has to do, it's one of her better planets, but it's in this house of death-like experiences. Mercury was also there, affecting communication. And let's see what else is happening. Rahu has been in this 4th house, afflicting at a most effective point this family life, or the house that's signifying marriage in this chart. So if we just keep moving forward, Rahu is continuing to be there, not as much impact, but still some impact up until May. And then Rahu went over Mars, affecting Mercury, which affecting communication, and what we're seeing here is we want to get Sun, which is the main significator for marriage, in the house that represents marriage, and to be fairly strong. So if we keep advancing forward, we'll see that by, let's see, here, hold on a second. So you see I'm following over here when Sun is getting strong and well placed. So when Sun moves into this house and gets past 5 degrees, and it becomes fairly strong and well placed, and that can be helpful, probably in September. Let's see here. Yeah. So there's a nice window, September 9th and 10th, where you could have a meetup on Match.com, or meet up with somebody who's setting up the match with the parents and the family, and that's a good window for strong possibilities. And then you can just keep following Sun around and see when it's strong and well placed, and that will give you some ideas. But definitely when it's transiting the 6th house, it'll be causing delays. When it's transiting the 8th house, it's be causing obstacles, and it will be causing losses when it's in the 12th house. So any other houses, and when it's strong and well placed. So that's that. And then we want to look at, the next thing we were going to look at is the U.S. Perpetual Yearning chart to see when the destroyer last Friday collided with the freighter. And what we can look at is, this is the U.S. Perpetual chart. And if we look at the animated transits and we go back to last Friday, which is the 17th, is it? Let's see, hold on. 16th. So if we go back to the 16th, let's take a look at what's happening. So we have transit Venus. Venus representing transportation, so it can be boats, ships, trains, planes, cars. It's being afflicted by Rahu, fairly close, and it is within 4 degrees of the ascendant, so that's partly an issue. And it's in the house of Aries, which is ruled by Mars, which is accidents and military. And yeah, again, conjunct natal Rahu, transit Rahu, conjunct natal Rahu. Rahu can cause calamities, accidents, things like that. So that's one thing we're looking at. Then we see Mars, which represents accidents and military, being in the house of endings or catastrophes. And let's see here. And Mars is aspected by, let's see, natal K2. And that's within 4 degrees, or no, 2 degrees. So that's a major thing. And transit Jupiter, which represents accidents. The 6th house represents accidents, and it's ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is it's aspecting natal Saturn. So let's see here, Jupiter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jupiter is at 19 degrees. So, and it's aspecting the Sun. Well, Jupiter, where is Jupiter again? Oh, okay, and and this is the sign of accident, Virgo. So Virgo represents accidents. It's in that sign, and it is very close to the ascendant as well, the most effective point. So many things going on there to create that. Now, lastly, we're going to look at Dr. Emoto's chart. Very interesting guy. Did a lot of research on the effects of vibration, sound, mantras on water, to purify water, to have the water become healing. And he saw that, when you uttered a mantra, beautiful mandala-like structures were seen in the molecules of the water. And when negative things were uttered, then these molecules become very chaotic looking. So it's almost like water has a nervous system, like plants, and it can tell when you're being positive or negative, and it's affected by that. And our bodies are made of 80% water, so water has a huge effect on us. And the vibrations can have a huge effect on us because we are made of 80% water. So, very interesting chart. He has got 4 planets in Cancer, which is a water sign. And this is the house of research. So, he's all about researching water. So, you look at Sun. Sun is ruling the house of good fortune, brings good fortune through teaching, which is this house has to do with teaching and leadership, and ruled by Sun, which is in this house of research. So good fortune through teaching, through research. Moon is ruling this house of research, so brings research into water and emotions and intuition. Mars is in its own sign, and in the house of educating others. So he educates others about this research into water. Mercury is career, represents the house of career. So he communicates his research to others. That's his career. He's communicating his research to others. Jupiter represents life purpose and longevity, and it has to do, it's in this house of research, so life purpose through teaching research. And Jupiter means teaching. So Venus is ruling the house of income, so brings income through teaching about research. Saturn brings success through healing others. This is the house of entrepreneurial success and communication business. So his success comes through serving others, healing others, this planet of health and healing. And Rahu brings desire for research. Ketu brings insights into wealth and recognition. Now, when he died, which is 10/17/2014, if we look at the transits, 10/17/14, we can see that the ruler of the house of longevity is in the house of death-like experience, transiting the house of death-like experiences. And it's very close to the rising sign degree. Let's see here. No, it's not. Let's see. Jupiter, natal Jupiter is. But even still, Jupiter transiting this house of death-like experience, you have all these planets here. It's right on top of Rahu, and Rahu's at 25, and Jupiter's at 24. So huge impact right there. Rahu is catastrophes, accidents, things like that. His lungs are represented by Saturn, and it's in this, let's see here. I think those are the main things. Then Mars is in the house, the 12th house. That's not great either. Let's see here. Yeah, I think the main thing is Jupiter transiting the house of death-like experiences afflicted by Rahu at this exact same degree. All right, that's it for today, and we'll send out a new homework for next week.